Thanks for listening to the Clive Barker Podcast again, the only podcast dedicated to the imagination of Clive Barker. This is episode 173. In the news, there's some Clive Barker art, Easter egg, and a Burt Reynolds movie. Which news story was our April Fool's joke this year? And we talk about the upcoming listener party in Texas before Texas Frightmare Weekend. All this plus we catch up on the Duels of Blood. Round 2 is over, and round 3 voting has just begun. This episode is sponsored again by Don Bertram's Celebrate Imagination. His Celebrate Imagination shop is dedicated to benefiting the arts and medicine program at Texas Children's Cancer Center, where up to 50% of the proceeds will support the program where artist Don Bertram volunteers monthly. Please join us in donating to the program at the Texas Children's Cancer Center. There's a link in the show notes and on the main website at clivebarkercast.com that will take you where you need to go to get one of his awesome art prints or art book and help out this wonderful program. And in addition, if you live in the Houston, Texas area, they just had this weekend. They just had a gallery show, a local art show. But there's one more the weekend of April 19th, and that is at Circa Real Estate Office at 350 West 19th Street, Suite D, Houston, Texas. So Circa Real Estate Office, April 19th. 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. So go check it out. Check out Don Bertram's art. And if you go and you heard about it from us, tell him that we said hi. Yes. Okay, so anyway, with all that being said, let's get right into episode 173. Well, welcome to the Clive Barker Podcast. This is episode 173. We'll be talking about the Duels of Blood and Clive Barker news. So I guess we'll go into the news first. If you're on Facebook and you're in any Clive Barker groups at all, you've probably seen Danny Stewart's Hellraiser 3 poster.
Yeah, I've seen it for the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, he's pretty excited about that.
Yeah, he is.
He's got them available to buy, and they're pretty cool looking.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, so Danny, I mean, we've been seeing this ever since it was a sketch, ever since it was an idea in Danny's mind, and he contacted this artist from Mad Matt Design, and they made these A2 posters. They're now for sale for £25 and $34 US, with free posting and shipping. So he did a commission for the Hellraiser 3 Hell on Earth movie poster, because he likes Hellraiser so much, and he likes Hellraiser 3 in particular. So he wanted Mad Matt Design to make him a poster. And I think at first he wasn't even thinking about selling them, but then he just got so amazed by the results and so happy with it that he decided he should probably share it with the fans.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. And in my excitement, I forgot we're supposed to introduce ourselves. I'm Ryan.
I'm Joe.
I'm Rob. Sorry, my voice is dying.
Yeah. You got a sore throat, right? So you're not.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hope you feel better soon.
Yes, thank you.
And so it's cool that Danny even contacts people like the director of Hellraiser 3, Anthony Hickox, and he's been showing him stuff and exchanging messages with him. And apparently, according to Danny, Anthony Hickox, director of Hellraiser 3, thought it was fucking awesome. So,
yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah, he's actually been talking to a lot of the cast of Hellraiser 3 also.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It would be nice to get some of that on like the website. I've been trying to talk to him about that.
Yeah. Danny also has a part in the offer as the Gimp or some kind of role.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, he does. Dark Ditties presents The Offer. Danny Stewart appears in it as the Gimp, like you said, and he was also a producer for the Kickstarter documentary of Leviathan. Yeah. And a few other documentaries about other horror movies that were done by the same team.
Yeah, and that kind of got him a relationship with Dead Mouse Productions, and he's been doing stuff with them since, which is pretty cool. This was kind of a neat one. We got this as sort of late breaking news that they were surprised no one else had talked about it, but there's a kind of an indie film called the Last Movie Star, starring Burt Reynolds. And this movie has an artist character named Lil, and all of her art portfolio is all recent Clive Barker art.
Yeah, isn't that cool?
Yeah,
that is very cool.
I meant to actually watch this movie before we recorded, but I didn't get to it yet.
Yeah, you can actually watch it on Prime Video, I think. And it's great to see Burt Reynolds back on the screen. It's been a while since we've seen this guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, last time I saw Burt Reynolds was in Boogie Nights, and he was good at that. Yeah.
I think.
Right.
Was he in anything? He must have been in some things after that, though. I don't know.
I'm sure he has, but I just haven't. Nothing really as big as.
Yeah.
That.
Right. Yeah.
He's been in a lot of movies, and especially TV. He plays a retired movie star in Insanity, Florida, a TV show from 2017, and has been in a bunch of other smaller things. Hitting the Brakes, another TV series, as Ron Wilcox. And it's great to see him again now in a movie. This movie, The Last Movie Star, is about an aging former movie star is forced to face the reality that his glory days are behind him. On its surface, the film is a tale about faded fame. At its core, it's a universal story about growing old. And it's directed and written by Adam Rifkin. The
Clive Barker art is also featured in a jacket that the Lil character wears, and I guess Clive Barker got to keep that jacket as part of his agreement to allow them to use his art, which was pretty cool.
Oh yeah,
that's nice. He has a lot of stuff in his garage.
Yeah.
Hopefully they'll really make that available to the fans some way, his art in some kind of shape or form.
Yeah. Imaginer 5, the Clive Barker art book series, the fifth volume of these are it was available. The pre-order time was over on April 1st, which is not an April Fool's joke. That was for real, and now they've started shipping. I haven't seen where anyone's received them yet, but I think that Phil and Sarah posted that they shipped them out.
Yeah, that's great. They announced that on Facebook and on their website, and it's great that these books are coming out really, really fast now.
Yeah. And speaking of April Fools, we had one of our own. This was Rob. This was your.
These are always great
creation.
To do. Yeah.
And
actually, like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if this probably will happen one day. This is this game, Dead by Daylight. Yeah. I play it. It's a fun game. It really sucks though if you have the other players and the killer team up on you.
Oh.
That stinks because they're cheating.
Oh,
but
so how can
I'd like to see that.
Can they hurt you? I've never played this game.
They can all three surround you. There's it's just kind of takes the fun away out of it. I usually just drop out to find another lobby. Yeah. Not everybody's like that, but it's a great game.
Is it kind of like the Friday the 13th game?
Yeah, but this one it's only 4 players against a killer.
Mm-hmm. That's the entity.
It's a little bit. Yeah, it's a little bit creepier. I'd say it's not as comic book kind of style as the Friday 13th game is. Yeah, it kind of gets under my. When I would play it at night, it would get under my skin. Kind of just
sure
has put you in that kind of.
Oh, and just so people know, I don't think we actually said this out loud yet, but what the April Fool's joke was is that Pinhead is going to be appearing in Dead by Daylight, and this is Pinhead from Hellraiser Judgment. And it fooled a lot of people. In fact, we got a lot of shares, and we even had some people going, "It doesn't say it's an April Fool's joke. I'm so confused." And it's like,
yeah.
If you put that on there, that ruins the joke, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Right. Of course. Yeah, that's the whole point. And some people were saying, "Oh, I've heard about this, and the reason they haven't put Pinhead in is because blah blah blah." And it's like, Really? Okay. Well, I guess I'm learning some new stuff. And yeah, it was cool because Michael Myers is in this game, Leatherface, Freddy Krueger, and I think it's the pig from the Saw series, Rob?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're in the camp.
And I think we even fooled David Anderson because he had said like, but how can they get the rights for this movie when something about Larry Coopin and
owns the video game rights?
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that. I remember seeing that comment.
Okay. Yeah, you said that the release was expected sometime in the fall, and we would keep you updated as more news become available. And yeah, unfortunately that was our April Fool's joke. We even made a little image with like a still from the game, and I put Paul T. Taylor's Pinhead in it, just to get a rise out of people. But it was pretty fun.
Yeah. No, I mean, it does. What makes it good is it's very plausible. I mean, I think that this could easily happen, and we had some backup documentation of other other stuff, other cross promotional stuff. Like for Hellraiser Revelations, there was like Hellraiser Avatar stuff that you could get, like a T-shirt for your guy, and he'd hold a little puzzle box and Pinhead would come out of the wall, and like.
So you're telling me that there's a me Pinhead in the Wii ecosystem.
Well, it's the Xbox 360.
Oh, the Xbox.
Yeah, the Xbox 360 created Mii's, out as to compete with the Wii, at the time that came out. So.
That was a cool promo, though, to have Pinhead come over in a little avatar form and give you a little box through the Xbox avatar thing. That was funny. Yeah. I saw the picture you posted. That was cute.
Yeah. So also did this. Maybe this can send some, maybe send this, maybe give some initiative to the developers of the game to get Pinhead actually in the game. I'd love to play as Kirsty or Tiffany and play in a labyrinth type setting.
Oh hell yeah!
That would be that'd be fun.
Yeah,
that'd be fun. Yeah.
Well, and then if they have Pinhead, they could have all kinds of Cenobite characters.
Yeah, exactly.
True, very true. Yeah.
There's a few characters in the game that are that remind me of something out of Clive Barker that he would create. So.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I would love to see characters like Pinhead and Candyman in more computer games. I mean, I don't think they've ever been in a computer game. Has Candyman ever been in a computer game?
No, I don't think so.
No, I don't think so. You're right.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
That would be cool.
Even if it's just like Super Mario Brothers Smash or something, a very stylized version of Pinhead. Right. But that's never going to happen because Nintendo's not going to put that in there,
The only game, just to bring Candyman I've seen in as that Terradrome. Terradrome. It's a fan-made game.
Oh yeah, I've heard of that.
Yes, right. That's the one that has Pinhead too, right? Is that the?
Yeah.
That's the fighting game.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's cool.
Somebody fan made that, and it's a very good game. I've never played it.
Yeah.
And so speaking
of, to see Pinhead hopping around and kicking and punching and stuff, but
yeah.
Well, he doesn't have to do those things. He can just like summon chains and stuff. I mean, yeah, you're right. I mean, it would be weird to see. Most of the other characters like Leatherface and Freddy, they have like some sort of weapon, right? Freddy has his glove. Leatherface is a chainsaw. The Shape has a knife. Yeah. I mean, Pinhead doesn't really. He has those tools on his belt, right?
Yeah.
I mean, maybe he could use those, or maybe he could just use chains. That would be interesting. I don't necessarily see him like doing punching and kicking players, but yeah. Slashing, sure.
Sorry, I interrupted your segue.
That's fine. I was going to say that speaking of Nightbreed and Candyman and Pinhead, that there's going to be a couple of screenings on Saturday, April 14th. Well, actually, this has already happened, right? No, it hasn't.
Nope, not yet. We are, what is today, the 8th? So next weekend.
Yeah. Okay, so on Saturday, April 14th, 2018, at the Strand Theater in Seymour, Connecticut Cult Classics will be holding a special Clive Barker night. And they're going to be playing Bernard Rose's Candyman and Clive Barker's Nightbreed. Yay. So hopefully it'll be the director's cut, right?
It's in small print on the poster. It says the director's cut at the bottom there.
Okay,
It's really hard to read, but yeah.
Okay, I didn't see that. All right.
Even better would be the Cabal cut, but that's a lot to ask. I mean, there aren't very many copies out there of that one.
That's true. That's true. But so if you're in Connecticut, and especially if you're in Seymour, Connecticut, or nearby, the first movie starts at 7 p.m. and the price for the tickets is $10. So go check out Connecticut Cult Classics if you're interested in. You don't get these that much anymore, like double bill features, especially from the same director. So,
geez, for $10.
Yeah,
that's awesome. I mean, I just went and saw one movie for $16.
Yeah, I know.
What a ripoff!
I know.
So there's always going to be there's also going to be cult trailers being played at the screening, special giveaways, and raffle prizes, which makes it fun for everyone.
Yeah. I wish I could go. That sounds really awesome.
Yep.
Yeah. So wanted to give a little bit of an update on Texas Frightmare Weekend for all of our friends that are going to be in Texas. We're starting. We have a little bit of news. I was skipping ahead there. We have a little bit of news. The Clive Barker has autograph prices posted now. So for everybody that wants to wait in line to get an autograph from Clive Barker, they are $60. Just to save time, he's not doing sketches, and I know the history of this. I was at Texas Frightmare Weekend in 2011, and he did a sketch for everybody. And that line like went around the building, and you know, he would do a sketch for every person, and so they were there for like 10-15 minutes each. So it was crazy, and I just because I had so much stuff to sign, they asked me if I could hang back and wait until the end, and so I just got to hang out with Clive and Mark Miller for hours. It was really fun. I mean, that was kind of a pivotal experience for me. But yeah, I mean, logistically, it doesn't make sense for him to be doing sketches for everybody. So, you know, all the people that were here the last time he was here and, you know, got a sketch, that was awesome, but it's not going to happen again.
Yeah, sure. And, you know, Clive Barker is also still recovering from his health. And nowadays, he has more trouble drawing paintings. So that's another reason why he won't be doing drawings for anybody. But the only thing I'm surprised with is that they say autograph $60 and say no personalization. And I mean, that's hardly a big problem, I guess. You know, it's just writing to so-and-so and then just signing it. That doesn't really add a lot of time to it, but you know, you got to respect what the artist wants to do.
I think that sounds like that's something that's coming from like promoters.
Probably.
I betcha I would lay money down that is going to go away and Clive will just do whatever he wants.
Sure.
Yeah. That sound, because I've seen stuff like that happen before where they say stuff like that and then it just gets ignored.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
well, the good thing is you
go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say that. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, and it's professional photo op only, so no pictures with Clive on your own camera. So when I was there the last time, they had the photo op was a completely separate event from the signing. So you had tickets with your VIP pass, and you would get professional photos. But I wonder if this time they're going to have it set up next to him, maybe. So you could just, for $75 more, you could go over there with Clive and do a picture when you get to your turn in line. I'm not sure. I guess we'll
find out.
Yeah.
It can be very exciting.
Yeah.
I'm probably going to get a photo op for this. $75. That's kind of on pricey side, but hey, you know, you don't know when you're going to get another chance to meet Clive at a convention right now. So
Yeah.
And I'm feeling a lot more confident than Clive is going to be able to attend now that all these autographs and photo op bookings are being done. Because I have to admit I had some reservations whether or not he was going to be able to make it, but it seems like he's determined to go through with it. So I'm looking forward to this one because I've been doing this podcast for like almost 6 years now, and I still have not met Clive Barker in person ever.
Right.
And so this will be a first for me, and it's going to be really exciting.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah. And then speaking of Texas Frightmare Weekend, we are having a listener party. So if you... I'm going to be putting together an event on Facebook, but if you're not on Facebook and you're listening to this, send us an email or somehow get in, or Facebook, or Twitter, message or something, to let us know that you want to come to the party, and we will we'll have a place for you. So what we're gonna be doing is we're gonna have a catered party where everybody can talk for a little bit, and then we are gonna go right into watching Barn of the Blood Llama. So
yeah, that's
good way to bring everybody together.
Yeah. So the more the merrier. We're going to set up microphones and everybody can kind of do audio commentary through the movie Barn of the Blood Llama, which I'm glad to have the more people, the better, because frankly, when people listen to this after, they're not going to really have the movie to follow along. I mean, it's rare movie, and as Jose can attest, it's hard to get a hold of.
Yeah, you have to buy it straight from one of the producers, and it's possible to buy it. I mean, it was fun. It was easy for me to buy it. I just had to send like $16 to this guy, Kirk, and he sent me a copy of the movie with like a fanzine called, what was it called? The Barn stuff. I don't know. I have to read that stuff. I haven't read it yet, but I will prepare and scan everything for our team to get through before Texas Frightmare Weekend. So it's a very interesting piece of exploitation. You can find a trailer for it on YouTube, I think. So go check it out.
Yeah. It'll be a lot of fun. And of course, the reason why we're talking about this movie is because Clive Barker makes a cameo.
Yeah, a very short cameo, very much in the beginning. And then I don't think he appears throughout the rest of the movie. But I think this all happened because one of the guys who made the movie was actually working for a local TV station during a convention where Clive Barker was staying at. And I think that they got a hold of Clive and they recorded some segment with him talking, and they used that in the film. So that's how these things happen, I guess. We'll find out more as I contact the director of the movie, hopefully.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. And the listener party is going to be on Friday. What is that? The 3rd? I don't have my calendar up. I need to put that.
That is the 4th.
Friday. Friday, May 4th.
Yes.
At around, be there around 10:30 or 11, and we'll give you the address and details a little later if you contact us. But it's near Dallas. We're not going to be very far away in our little Airbnb.
Okay, that sounds cool. Yeah. So yeah,
and that's
I'm looking forward to that. We're gonna have more people connected to conventions and Clive Barker stuff, and I think that Little Spark Films is going to be there with us as well. Joe Manco, Catalina Carita. So we're gonna have a lot of people. We're gonna have some fun. Okay.
And we're setting up. It's getting really exciting. We're setting up a lot of stuff that we're not ready to talk about yet. For this, we're going to have a lot of content, both audio and video, after we're done with this convention. Sure.
It's going to be a first for me. I've never been to a big convention like this. I've been to that screening of the Cabalca back in 2012, I think, right. One of the last screenings at the Hyatt Regency in Burlingame, California. But I've never really been to an actual convention and actually been part of the convention and just walked around and interviewed people. So that's going to be really, really fun for us. Yeah. And we're going to have the entire Clive Barker podcast team together. So that's going to be exciting, right? You, me, Rob, David, Marcus, and we're going to get to meet all those Hellraiser actors too. That's going to be fun.
Yeah, I'm super looking forward to it. And they finally just approved my time off at work. I was sweating bullets about that.
Oh, man.
They kept saying, we don't look at that until later. So we'll let you know when it's closer to the time. But they just finally did that on Friday. So I was like, geez.
Oh, really? Because I had to ask for the request time off 21 days ahead.
Yeah, so, and I did that too. I did it weeks ago, but I put in a request, and then they just kind of sit on it for weeks.
Yeah, and thanks to all the people on Kickstarter that helped us fulfill our goal of going to Texas Frightmare Weekend. We couldn't do this without you.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
my
definitely.
God, we're so grateful. This is
Grateful.
amazing.
You have no idea how grateful we are.
Yeah, I can't wait. But switching gears, speaking of Kickstarter, one of our goals was the Duels of Blood competition, and this one has gotten big. I mean, it's been pretty exciting. It's all Cenobites competing against each other over on www.duelsofblood.com, and this week's round 2 is over. So starting off, we had Dr. Chenard versus Veronique. Dr. Chenard from Hellraiser 2, Hellbound. He was the bad guy Cenobite, and we've got Veronique.
Paul Kane's Servants of Hell.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sherlock Holmes and the Servants of Hell. Yes, and Dr. Chenard won that one. He had 64% of the votes, so it wasn't like a landslide, but he definitely won, and he'll be moving on.
Yeah, he's one of the top favorite Cenobites for most people out there. So he's a classic. Yeah, the doctor is in, and the doctor recommends amputation of Veronique.
Yes,
so that's too bad. Sorry, Paul Kane, but does he still have any Cenobites in the race? No, he doesn't. He had 2 more.
Oh yeah, right. They didn't. Yeah. So, and then then our next one is we've got Caesar from the Hellraiser Anthology Volume 2, that big old mountainous thing that ate the blood bags in the story I Just Work Here, versus Gehenna, that guy, skeleton nailed to the board. And
from Jihad.
Yeah, and Gehenna won. So sorry, Caesar. Gehenna probably had just a tiny bit more personality than Caesar.
Yeah,
that's true. Not
that's
by
true.
a lot, but he did win.
And the next one is Murkova versus Pinhead, and unsurprisingly, Pinhead won. Even though it's Murkova that's supposed to be like Pinhead's girlfriend, right?
Yeah, and this was a lot closer than than I would have thought. Murkova still had 39% of the votes.
Yeah, she had 288 votes versus 450 for Pinhead. Personally, I'm going to blame the fact that we picked Murkova threatening a kitty cat as an image.
Yeah.
I think that did not garner a lot of sympathy for her. But anyway, Pinhead moves, and it's going to be interesting to see who Pinhead pairs up in round 3.
Yeah. And next we've got Searcher, also from that same story that had Caesar in it. He's a big mountainous, rocky giant that looks for people trying to escape from hell, versus the Puzzle Guardian, the skeletal dragon from the end of Hellraiser. And Puzzle Guardian won. Classic character. It's hard to beat a classic character. And I have to remind everybody again, these matches are randomized, so we're not picking who's pairing up against whom. But
I actually voted for the Searcher in this one.
I did too.
I couldn't decide, so I went back and forth on it.
Yeah. The Searchers, was this something they put in after Frank escaped or something?
Yes, yeah, exactly. Because Frank escaped, they cracked down and made it a lot harder for people to escape, and so the Searcher will find somebody. He's got like these big lights, like floodlights for eyes, and he'll find somebody.
Oh, I see.
And then one of the skeletal dragon Puzzle Guardians will swoop down and grab him and throw him into a meat grinder.
Ugh.
Yeah.
I was trying to really vote for the underdogs in this year's.
Oh yeah.
Even though I like the Puzzle Garden and everything, but I voted for I want to see some of the underdogs. But except for the Karate Cowboys and Pseudo Pinhead, those are the only ones I did vote for.
Yes. And the next match was Orno, the Cenobite from the Hellraiser comics that created Puzzle Guardians and Puzzle Boxes, versus Kirsty Pinhead from the Boom Studios comic books. And Kirsty won the vote, which I totally went for her too. And she's a really impressive character.
Yeah, Orno, I know we've seen him in one comic so far in our studies of the Hellraiser comics. I don't know if he comes back or not. We'll find out. But so far by issue 10, he hasn't. But yeah, I mean, I think Kirsty Pinhead is a really striking design, a really, really interesting image.
Yeah, very angelical, but at the same time, very gruesome in the sense that there's pins in the face and all that. But the robes and the sash, they're very, very angelical in a way, like white and a red sash, and it's just beautiful. I know, I remember that back for when they were thinking about doing Hellraiser 3 or 4, they actually considered changing Pinhead's garb to be more Pope-like, maybe even white. So yeah, that's kind of a throwback to that. And when they were doing Project Angel, redesigning an icon, Gary Tunnicliffe and Mike Regan from 2 Hours in the Dark, they created that recreation for the Pinhead makeup, and they put this white robe on Pinhead. So when they did that, so that was interesting. I thought to see Clive Barker, to see Pinhead dressed in something other than black leather.
Yeah.
It breaks the monotony. Sure.
Yeah, right. I mean, it is also nice to see that this that image get reused. And we've got Angelique versus the Engineer. So Angelique from Hellraiser Bloodline, the kind of, she's got that kind of pseudo nun's cowl.
Right.
Yeah.
From Sister Act.
That's one of the best Cinebat designs. I love that one.
Yeah,
I think so too. That's such an iconic thing. I mean, they even did a resin kit bust of Angelique, I think.
That's
which
right.
was very rare, but some people have it, and they have it like professionally painted, and it looks amazing.
So did Kevin Yeager do the special effects for Hellraiser Bloodline, or did he being the director? Did he have to have some others do that?
He did. He had Gary work on the main effects like that, like Angelique, and then the only thing his company did was the Chatter Beast that you see. That's the only thing his company did.
Okay.
Yeah, and an unused makeup for Jacques' death.
Oh, yeah,
and he was supposed to age, age very quickly. And, yeah, but that was never used. Also, the drum, I think, the drum face of Augustine Lemarchand's friend, when his face gets turned into a drum. They never really used that in the movie either, but there was a makeup that was created for that too, right? Or was that by Gary, Rob? I'm not sure.
On that one, I'm not positive
Gary.
either.
Yeah, that may be Gary stuff, yeah. So the next one is Pinhead from Judgment. I mean, Paul T. Taylor's Pinhead versus the Karate Cowboys from Inferno. And, of course, Pinhead wins everything.
Yeah.
But this is Paul T. Taylor's Pinhead, and he won over the Kung Fu Cowboys, which is not a big feat by itself. But, congratulations, Paul T. Taylor.
Well, and we have to mention, too, that Paul T. Taylor has been actively campaigning in this, which has been really fun. And this one thing has huge amount of votes compared to the others. Paul T. Taylor had 1,273 votes.
I'm surprised that the Karate Cowboys had almost 600 votes. Who are these 600 people out there voting for them?
It seems like it might have been a backlash, to the Paul Taylor's campaign.
Oh, you think
it's disproportionate, to all the other voters, all the other.
I know, it's like the classic Chatter got like half the votes of the Kung Fu Cowboys in this round, and that's insane. So someone was actually like every 5 minutes voting for the Karate Cowboys.
I think that those
just
were probably
despite.
Yes, exactly. There were votes against Pinhead, not for the Karate Cowboys. Maybe I don't know.
That is like cutting off the nose to spite the face. Okay.
Yeah. None of us did that. I can tell you.
No.
I'm pretty sure that we all voted for Judgment Pinhead. For Paul T. Taylor.
I totally did.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And then next up we had Winky Dink, the clown, versus Chatterer from Hellraiser 1. And this was actually really close. It was really close, but Chatterer won with 55% of the votes, so he gets to move on.
Yeah, that's a classic design. Classic Jeff Portas, Bob Keane design. I mean, that Cheddar from Hellraiser 1 is so bloody and so gory. It's just such a great design for me. I know they changed it for the second one, and I like it too, but it's just it's not as gory and Hellraiser-y as the first one, with all the blood around his mouth and those like wires stretching things out, and it's just such a weird character.
It is.
It totally, I think, follows what the Hellbound Hearts novella mentions the Cenobites looked like, right? Where the flesh was scarred, infibulated, powdered down with ash, and it just to the point where the facial features are completely obscured. And that's what Cheddar is about. Yeah. So congratulations, Simon Bamford. No, wait, Nicholas Vince. Oh, my God. Simon Bamford's going to kill me. I mean, Nicholas Vince is going to kill me.
Yeah, no.
Anyway,
I think they know that was a slip up and not a like a mistake of knowledge or whatever. Yeah.
But when it comes to bad Cenobites, the next matchup is just it's the tits. It really is, because Pseudo Pinhead won from Revelations, one versus Pistonhead or JP Monroe's Cenobites from Hellraiser 3.
Now,
and again, it's insane.
I'll be the first to say that I don't like the JP Monroe Cenobite, but I would never ever vote for Pseudo Pinhead.
I mean, you can't even compare the two makeups. I mean, I don't want to rain on like Gary Tunnicliffe's work, but it's like that Pseudo Pinhead makeup is not impressive at all. It's very, very basic. I don't really like it. I mean, when you compare it to Pistonhead, I mean, Pistonhead's so much better in terms of makeup and design. Even if people think that's not a real Cenobite as well, it's like, oh, they're handmade, But I mean, come on, look at both of them,
Yeah. Ugh. I didn't want to see him go on. I didn't want to see him in round 2 either,
Yeah, well, it looks like Revelation still has some fans out there.
Yeah.
Okay. And then
who did he beat? Never mind. I can't remember. I wanted to know who did he beat the first time in the first round. Do you remember?
I can. We can just go back here and look real quick.
That's fine.
It was Abigor.
Oh,
okay.
Was it Abigor? Okay. Yeah, that's messed up.
It's been a bit of a shocker. He's been the Cinderella kid for this year's Duels of Blood.
Yeah.
He's definitely the underdog. I hope that he doesn't end up winning this whole thing. That would be terrible.
Oh, God.
That would be a travesty. I think we'll have to put an end to the Duels of Blood.
Yeah. So the next match was Hunger the Cenobite from the comic books, from the Hellraiser comic books, versus Yamavdatu. She's one of those Cenobites from Jihad. Yeah. And Yamavdatu won, which was surprising to me because Hunger is much more prevalent in the Hellraiser stories, and Yamavdatu is just the lady with the mask. So
I didn't like this. I didn't particularly like this outcome either. I mean, I think that Hunger is a better Cenobite. Yamavdatu barely speaks or does anything, and Hunger has a real personality. He's kind of evil and twisted and vindictive, and he tricks people.
Yeah, he's a big part of the stories in the Hellraiser comics.
Yeah, kind of a bummer, but oh well, I guess.
But yeah, Yamavdatu is going to move forward to round 3.
Yeah, and then next up, I am so glad that this went the way that it did. We have Revelations Pinhead, the Great Value Pinhead versus the female Cenobite Barbie Wild version, right? The
yes,
Hellraiser, the Hellbound female Cenobite.
Yeah, Hellraiser 2.
And of course she won. So it's nice to send Revelations Pinhead packing because nobody likes him. Well, apparently 191 people like him.
Not such great value after all.
Yeah.
It's cool that you got 2 female Cenobites in the race on round 2, and I was worried that they might get, pit against each other. But this was a good pairing here. I mean, even I don't think Pinhead from Revelations would ever win, but yay for Barbie Wild Cenobites, and she moves forward, and there's still a chance that she may square off against the other female Cenobite from Hellraiser 1, because that's what the next match showed us, right? That Leviathan versus Grace Kirby's depiction of the female Cenobite in Hellraiser 1. She won. She took it from Leviathan, which is impressive.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I think,
it was down to the wire, too.
Yeah, it was. I think Leviathan had been ahead for a little while. But yeah, we've got both female Cenobites still in the running. And then Atkins versus the Sculptress. So in a way, Peter Atkins' character, Peter Atkins was kind of living on through this character, but because it's named after
Pete.
him. Yeah. But the Sculptress won. So the Sculptress moves on, and Atkins, the mouthy armorer guy with the ammo belts going through his skin, he's out.
He's out. And Plague from Sherlock Holmes and the Servants of Hell versus Julia. Of course, this is clearly like a situation where Plague would never win, but Plague, as drawn by Paul Kane here in this little illustration, lost against Skinless Julia, who took 68% of the votes. So hooray for Julia. And please let's not make her win this one like she won the first one.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
right.
No.
I guess we'll see. We'll see.
And then we've got Butterball versus Alastor. So this was a, I thought there would be more fan votes for Butterball because of a certain Laurie that we know. But he won by a huge margin, so it probably wasn't even necessary, really. I mean, Alastor is an annoying.
It's kind of
character.
a dick.
Yeah, he really is. Yeah, and Butterball is cool, and he's an iconic Hellraiser 1 character. So.
Of course, yeah. And the last matchup was Bright Eyes and the Voice from Hellraiser Marvel comic story versus Camerahead. And
pretty much a squash.
Yeah, that's great because I really like Bright Eyes and the Voice, even though they don't do a lot. They only show up in one story and then another story briefly in the background.
Yeah.
But it's just Camerahead. I think people hate this design so much.
Right. It at least shows that movie characters don't always trump the comic book characters, which is nice to see. Which I still don't understand why. I still don't understand why Pseudo Pinhead won, but whatever.
It's gonna be.
So it's a wrap.
Question of the year.
Yes.
Yeah. It's a wrap for Camerahead. And so now when does the voting start for round 3?
The voting is going to start immediately as you're listening to this. As we're recording, I haven't built up the site yet for it, but I'm going to do that at the same time as I'm editing this episode. So it'll all come out at the same time. You'll be able to vote. And the random pairings have already been made now, so we'll go through those really quick for round 3. So first matchup will be the Engineer versus Dr. Chenard. And I think that's a tough one, right? That's hard to know who to vote for. I like them both.
Yeah, I like both the Creature and the Doctor. So, and they're, I wish that we had seen more of the Engineer in Hellraiser 2.
Yeah.
Because I know he was supposed to be in there. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Dr. Chenard becomes a very strong character in this year's edition of Duels of Blood. We'll see.
Yeah. Okay, so next is Kirsty Pinhead versus Pinhead from Hellraiser Judgment, Paul T. Taylor's version.
Yeah. So my guess is that that Hellraiser Judgment promotions page is gonna pull for a lot of votes for Hellraiser's for Paul T. Taylor's Pinhead. So Kirsty Pinhead may be in trouble. We'll see.
Yeah, and that'll be an interesting one to watch. And it's all I can say to you guys out there that have been voting for Paul T. Taylor's Pinhead, that's awesome. But please vote in the other ones too. I mean, there's only gonna be 8 matchups in the next one. So in this coming one, so vote on all of them when you're in, as long as you're there anyway.
They may be doing that. I don't know.
Well, I mean, if Paul T. Taylor's Pinhead had 1,600 votes, and everybody else was 400.
And holy moly, what I was talking about is true. Yeah. So the group 3 is going to be female Cenobite versus female Cenobite.
Yeah, Grace.
So this was really randomized, right?
Yeah. I couldn't believe that happened from randomization. we got because we wouldn't have wanted to put them against each other because it feels kind of weird to do that.
Yeah.
But the randomizer did it for us, I guess, and now we got Grace Kirby versus Barbie Wilde.
Well, I guess I'm going to vote for both of them. I can't pick one, really.
Me too. I'm probably going to be alternating, hedging my bets. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
But if we want to see the results, we have to vote. So, as you check in on them, you got to vote if you want to see how, where they're going. And then next up, we have Gehenna versus the Puzzle Guardian from Hellraiser. So, two skeletons against each other, I guess.
Two spooky skeletons.
Yeah, I like the Puzzle Guardian better.
Sure.
I want him to win.
Me too. And then group 5 is going to be Chatter versus Butterball, which pits together two buddies. And it's kind of unfair to ask how to pick between both of them, but at the same time, this randomizer is doing a great job of getting some interesting pairings going.
I really like it.
We didn't want to pit Simon Bamford versus Nicholas Vince, but it happened. We'll see.
I probably like the makeup of Chatter a little more than I do Butterball, but I'm probably going to vote a little more on Chatter on this one.
Lori's going to hunt you down. Lori Markle.
I know.
She's going to hunt you down for saying that. But
sorry, Lori. I know you're a big Simon Bamford fan, but I'm a big fan of him too.
Yeah. No, and that'll be an exciting matchup, and it'll be interesting to see where it goes. We have Bright Eyes and the Voice versus Skinless Julia. I think that one's probably gonna go to Skinless Julia. I mean, Hellraiser 2 iconic character.
Sure.
Julia won an entire year 2 years ago.
Absolutely, yeah. So we'll see. Maybe this movie Cenobite will trump the comic one, but there's no telling. I mean, in this round that didn't happen, so we'll see.
Yeah. And then Pseudo
Pinhead versus the Sculptress.
Yeah, versus the Sculptress. So I don't really know the Sculptress very well, but she's got my vote.
Yeah. I don't either, and she's gonna get it.
I think this is gonna be curtains for Pseudo Pinhead when he pit him up against the Sculptress, which seems to be very popular with all the people who are voting for the Duels of Blood, and I understand why, because it's a really cool Hellraiser story.
Yeah. Looking forward.
And the last matchup.
Yeah.
Vidatu versus Pinhead.
Yama Vidatu is not much of a character, and she's going up against Doug Bradley's Pinhead.
Talk about an underdog, yeah.
Yeah, I know. In this case, I don't think I want to vote for the underdog, because she's just not really that strong of a character.
Yeah. So the weird ones that made it through round 2 probably will disappear after round 3, and we're going to get the good stuff going. So So go ahead and vote.
Yeah, go over to www.duelsofblood.com and cast your votes. We want to see where this goes. So we're down to 8 matchups now.
Yep, it's getting tight.
Yeah. And on the site, we haven't had anything to review lately, but we have been doing a series of podcast episodes reviewing the Hellraiser Marvel Hellraiser comics. After this week, we'll have posted another one with talking about issues 8 through 10. So just keep an eye on those. If you're a fan of those comics, or if you want to know the origins of some of these characters in the Duels of Blood, then go listen, because we talk about them a lot.
Absolutely. And just as a reminder, it's not a new thing on our blog. It's actually a very old thing. But back when we had Andrew Kopp as a contributor, he did retro reviews for the Nightbreed comics and the Hellraiser comics from Marvel. So I think he reviewed up to like number 6 or 7 before he moved on to prioritize his family and other things a little more. So there are retro reviews of the first few issues of the Hellraiser comics series. So if you want to go look them up, retro reviews on our blog, and you will see the Hellraiser ones made by Andrew Kopp.
Yeah, I mean, I would love to take that back up again and kind of continue where he left off. It's just, the time.
Yeah, I know.
Any spare time that we have, not that we're not doing these planning episodes and preparing episodes, we got to be working on our book. So yeah,
it's true. And we have work and family to deal with too, so sometimes it gets in the way.
Yep. Yeah. So, and then the homework for next time: read issues 8 through 10 of the Marvel comics. If you wanna kind of keep up with us and follow along, that's what we're going to be talking about next week.
And this podcast, having no beginning, will have no end.
Find the show notes for this episode and join the discussion over at www.clivebarkercast.com, where we have news and links to all the ways you can connect with us. You can subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, and every other place you can find podcasts. The Clive Barker Podcast is an independent editorial podcast and news blog that is not affiliated with or under contract by Seraphim Inc. This is a labor of love by the fans for the fans.
Thanks for listening.